World Peace Movement joins the Steve Hilton Show. Darren, it's been amazing watching you in action out on the streets, making incredible videos and commentary on the madness of what's going on in California. I would just love to just introduce yourself to our audience. It's our first conversation. As I just said, I'm sure it'll be the first of many. Tell everyone, who you are and how you got into all this.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you so much for having me, Steve. Always a pleasure to be on the Hilton Show. We are making California golden again, to say the least. And yeah, long story short, my house burned down to the ground when I was a kid. I started hitchhiking northeast, south, and west across the United States of America. Ended up in an Eskimo village in Alaska on the Arctic Ocean, dog mushing underneath the northern lights. Now I'm back home in San Francisco fighting the good fight, where for years I've been on the front lines in the trenches, documenting the humanitarian crisis, the corruption and incompetence of California Democrats, as well as raising awareness about the dangers of fentanyl in our community, fentanyl showing up on playgrounds and in schools. And just like many of the people viewing this video at home, I also have many family friends who have died from fentanyl. For those of you who are unaware, fentanyl is a form of chemical warfare on the American people. Comes from China across the southern border into our big cities and small towns. And I'm just really happy to be here, Steve. Out of all the candidates I see running for governor of California, I see you out there in the fields. You're going to Northern California, Southern California, and unlike Gavin Newsom, you're going to the small town too. You were just in Eureka, Crescent City. I have a lot of family and friends in Del Norte, Mendocino, and Humboldt. So I love seeing, a politician who actually cares about our community out there. And you're also in San Francisco and Los Angeles, in some pretty hectic situations, to say the least. Los Angeles has Skid Row, San Francisco has the Tenderloin, Oakland has 13th Street, Kamala's hometown, of course. And 4,000 people have died from fentanyl in San Francisco between the years 2019 and 2025. There are over 200,000 people living on the streets of California right now as we speak. Growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area, I have personally witnessed San Francisco go from being the cultural capital of the world to the technology capital of the world to what now unfortunately seems like the homeless fentanyl capital of the world. In the 1960s, there was that age old notion, let's hitchhike to California. And you had people from New York, Florida, and Texas, and everywhere in between coming to California with nothing but the clothes on their back. And, that was when California's American dream shined at its brightest. You were able to come here with nothing, and after just a few years of working, you could settle down, build a life for yourself, buy a home, start a family. And unfortunately, under Gavin Newsom, the American dream in California has turned into a California nightmare, to say the least. Now we're witnessing the decline of Western civilization, and everywhere you look are the signs. And now we have states like Texas, Florida, New York busting their homeless, criminals, and drug addicts on buses across the country to drop them off in California. And now, when I'm walking around San Francisco, I'm not seeing hippies smoking pot anymore or making music. I'm seeing people shooting up fentanyl and needles. I'm seeing them smoke fentanyl off of tinfoil through straws, which, by the way, I thought we banned plastic straws. How come these guys are able to find a straw? I can't find a straw at any of these restaurants I go to. And I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like almost the exact opposite of what California Democrats are saying is happening. When they say harm reduction, of course, it's causing more harm. When they say progressive policy, of course, everything is becoming progressively worse. We are on the 20th year anniversary of Gavin Newsom's 10-year plan to solve homelessness, $20 billion later, and the situation is worse than ever before. And I know it's not just breaking Californian hearts or hearts across America, although some Americans have stopped checking up on California altogether. It's also breaking the hearts of the international community. There's so many people around the world, England, Scotland, Brazil, Argentina, everywhere you go, Japan, China. There's so much love for America, especially California, and it's so sad to see her fall from grace. And I'm happy to be here, Steve. You are a part of that force. You are the tip of the spear here in California. You're out there, you're having a conversation with families. You've gone to so many places in California now. I feel safe to say you know more about California than Gavin Newsom, and he was born here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, well, I definitely. I mean, look, yesterday I was up in Siskiyou County, one of our most northern counties, and they said, they literally had Gavin come in there. I mean, they were telling me like, um, he snuck in and out like a snake. That was the term that was used. Like he just slid it in and out, and he did some photo op with this ridiculous. They're taking down the dams on the Klamath River. And so and they feel really insulted actually, and so many people around the state do.
And I think Gavin Newsom's incompetence and corruption is actually, we're seeing a major shift right now in the indigenous communities. There are thousands of Native Americans who are registering as Republicans, and they don't beat around the bush and they don't mince words, man. They literally describe Gavin Newsom slithering in and out like a snake. I can't think of a better way to describe him myself. They are on the money when it comes to describing Gavin Newsom.
So look, I love your energy and passion for the state, and I feel the same way. What made you get into this? I mean, what was the point where you thought I can't just sit here, stand here. I got to be public. I've got to be out there and fight.
The tipping point for me, and honestly, the piece of straw that tipped over the wagon, was the sheer authoritarianism we witnessed during the pandemic when Gavin Newsom forced mask mandates on California families, but he himself was whining and dining at the French Laundry. And we see this time and time and again with California Democrats: do as I say, not as I do, and they are not true leaders. And in fact, many of us haven't ever seen them before in real life. I can't in good conscience remember ever seeing Gavin. I've seen Nancy Pelosi in the flesh. I've seen London Breed, I've seen Daniel Laurie, have not seen Gavin Newsom once at all. And it's concerning to me because, wait, what was the original question? Oh yeah, the tipping point. Was it me waking up to my door getting kicked in and burglars breaking into my home, my girl screaming bloody murder, and I had to fight off burglars with my own two bare hands? And then I call 911 after I've managed to fight them off and I'm told to leave a voicemail at the beep. I don't know if it was the sexual exploitation of children in schools. They should be learning ABCs and one, two, threes and playing outside. And instead, these leftist teachers are exposing them to inappropriate adult subjects that they should not be exposed to. Or was it the fact that there are 20 plus people using fentanyl at the children's playground while there are children playing on the playground? Was it the fact that all the stores are closed, like the Led Zeppelin song? I mean, everywhere you look in San Francisco, there are for lease signs. Every block, for lease, for lease, for lease. It's really sad. San Francisco used to be a place where you could shop until you drop, and now it seems as though as if our local economy has reached terminal velocity in its economic collapse. And just the quality of life. Every morning I go out and I count the bodies in the streets. It's all fun and games until the white van comes around. We have tents lined up and down the block, discarded used needles, broken government issued crack pipes on the ground. The list goes on, to say the least. These corrupt nonprofits and corrupt organizations are working hand in hand with the homeless industrial complex. And both of these groups are essentially benefiting off the suffering, the less fortunate on the street. And it's absolutely heartbreaking when I think of all the honest Americans of all races and religions who died on the streets of San Francisco or Los Angeles or Crescent City, you name it, Sacramento, Oakland, San Jose. It's really sad. And for me, the greatest wake up call was the fact that when I walked down the streets of San Francisco, I saw United States veterans who literally gave an arm and a leg for our
Yes.
country, left to die on the sidewalk, exposed to the elements. And then these illegal immigrants come walking across our border, some just the day before. And next thing you know, they're handed a luxury Victorian hotel, $1,000 gift cards, food stamps, a driver's license, the whole nine yards. I had never seen so many resources allocated to one particular group. I'd like to see these same resources go to our less fortunate American citizens on the street. It's, as you may know, the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So you can only imagine how a starving man feels. Used to be back in the day, there would be one or two homeless guys. Maybe one was a vet. Maybe one just maybe lost it all in the fire. They would go into the grocery store and they'd steal a sandwich, and that was about the extent of it. Now, I had never steal or encouraged stealing, but you can kind of, conceive what their thought process was when they took one sandwich. But it's totally blown out of proportions. Nowadays, every time you go to the grocery store, there are large hordes of fentanyl addicts walking in with duffel bags, large duffel bags, and they're not just stealing a sandwich anymore. They're stealing everything off the shelf. They are clearing the shelves dry. And unfortunately, security guards have been told they're not allowed to touch them. The police have their arms tied behind their back. They are extremely limited in terms of the capabilities in which they're allowed to implement. And these people are ransacking our grocery stores all day, all night, every single day, rain or shine. And for me, when I started seeing our grocery stores close down left and right, the Walgreens on Fourth and Market, the Walgreens on Powell and O'Farrell, or the Walgreens on Sixth and Market, you have the Whole Foods on Seventh and Market. Which, by the way, this is mostly London Breed's fault and Gavin Newsom's. it, they tried to open up a Whole Foods directly across the street from a harm reduction lounge, which was essentially a fentanyl lounge where they set up lawn chairs and people are able to sit around all day in lawn chairs and picnic tables and shoot up fentanyl or smoke fentanyl as they please. And you have a long line out the door. You would think a Star Wars movie is premiering or something. It's a lounge for fentanyl, and they actually opened up a Whole Foods across the street from this fentanyl lounge. And unfortunately, that Whole Foods didn't last 6 months. I think it was the fastest closure we've ever seen in our city. Our mall is absolutely vacant. There may be one or two stores still open at the mall, and one of them might be a Panda Express. Our restaurants, um, our mom and pop shops. I have personally had to intervene as a vigilante and on multiple occasions, not just at our grocery stores, just trying to defend our grocery store from the looters, but also at our restaurants. The Pinecrest Diner was robbed. I
Love
successfully
that place.
chased down. Yeah, yeah, no. Let's talk about that. I was walking home from work. I seen a gentleman run out with the tip jar, and I didn't think twice. I chased him down about a half mile, held him down till the police got there, and they gave me a citizen's arrest ticket, which is always nice. A nice collection of citizen's arrest ticket doesn't look bad in court. And then one time I was eating at the Cafe Central, which is a well-known European restaurant in downtown San Francisco. Amazing food, great chef, great staff. And I was at the corner ordering my breakfast when all of a sudden I noticed a large hand reach over my shoulder. Now, at first, I thought somebody was giving me a hug. And I turned around to look, and when I seen him, it was a robber. It was a drugged out, violent lunatic out of his mind. And I seen his hand reach for the cash register till to try and take a few dollars. He got his hands on a few dollars, and as soon as I seen him take money out of the register till, I knew immediately that this was a restaurant robbery, and I did not hesitate. I grabbed him and I held him down to the ground and placed him under a citizen's arrest until the police got there. The restaurant thanked me and offered me a complimentary meal, which I appreciated. And, those are just a few rare happy endings, successfully fighting off burglars, stopping the restaurant robberies, defending our few last remaining grocery stores from being looted. These are small victories, but I know the war is far from over. We've been taking a lot of losses lately on the front lines of California, and what's happening underneath Gavin Newsom's nose is absolutely repugnant. This is unimaginable. We are the fourth largest economy in the world. Walking around, this is third world conditions. The quality of life is almost non existent. And you don't just see it in San Francisco, you see it in Oakland, Sacramento, Los Angeles, even San Diego now. Unfortunately, families at Mitala Beach, they're swimming in the sewage waste of Tijuana, Mexico. I mean, the failures are top to bottom all across the board, and it's time for a change in California.
Oh my goodness, you're so powerful. And it's heroic, honestly, because most people don't stand up, and most people don't get involved. And they're just this passivity as our state has been ruined by these lunatics. And they're not actually lunatics is the wrong, and it's an easy word to say lunatic. No, it's not like crazy. They're deliberate. It's deliberate. These ideologues, right?
It's intentional.
It's intentional, exactly. Um, what about your? I mean, how do you see? What are you going to be focusing on? Even more of the same? Are you going to get? What do you see the next? Like we've got a year and a bit, year and a half, I suppose, till a year and a bit until the general election when we can beat these people next year.
Yes, sir. I agree. I think for the first time ever in history, we have the collective knowledge of humanity in the palm of our hands, at the tip of our fingers. And I feel as though it's a really do or die moment, because we, the people, can either use this technology to liberate ourselves once and for all, or our oppressors, these far left Democrats in California, can use the same technology to oppress us once and for all. So I feel as if what we do today and tomorrow, this week, next month, it's going to set the stage for the next 1,000 years. And I really hope we can get back to that golden state we all know and love. I want to get back to California dreaming. I want to wake up from this nightmare. Unfortunately, it won't happen overnight. It takes a lot of work. It's going to take people of all races and religions coming together, setting aside their differences, and focusing on a common goal. And until we can actually flip California red, until we can get voter ID implemented, until we can register folks to vote differently, I don't think we're going to see much of a change.
Yeah, but that's what you and me have. That's what we're fighting for. So, I love. Thank you, man. Honestly, I love the way your energy and your passion. And I don't know. I've always said it's not going to be easy to do this to win, but it's not impossible, and that means we got to go for it. And I know you will, and I will, and let's do it.
Yeah, I feel as though, yeah, out of all the candidates I've seen running for governor of California, Steve, I got to say, you're the one who's out there the most. You're talking to the most families. You're going to the most cities. And I'm even seeing parts of California I haven't seen since I was a little boy. And it's really nice to get those updates from you. And it's really heartwarming to see you talking with these farmers, these tradesmen, these blue collar workers. You're out there talking to lumberjacks in the redwoods, the whole 9 yards. You're down there in Southern California. You're talking to families on the beach. You're really there on the front line. So I feel like I'm not alone. When I'm in the far left Lions Den of San Francisco, the ultra blue Democrat stronghold, I know I'm not alone. We have seasoned veterans like yourself on the front lines as well. And I know if anything happens to me, you'll be able to carry the torch and vice versa. And I'm looking forward to meeting with you on the road and rallying for you. And, I just got to say, I think right now here, I'd like to announce you have my support for governor of California, and I will be
Oh,
voting
thank
for
you.
you in the election. And I encourage all my family and friends in California to consider voting for Steve Hilton as well. I think making California golden again is priority number one. And I've seen you not just talk the talk, you're out there walking the walk. And there are so many other great, powerful fighters out here as well. And I know we're not going to go down without a fight, man.
I love it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Unexpected, beautiful. I really appreciate it. So last thing,
Who else could I vote for, Steve? There's nobody else.
tell everyone where they can follow you and keep up with your fight.
If anyone's interested in following me or staying up to date with all things World Peace Movement, my handles on all social media platform is Darren Stallcup, Darren Stallcup, Stallcup. If anyone's interested in supporting the World Peace Movement, our website is worldpeacesf.com. And yeah, we are bringing people of all walks of life together, and that's what the World Peace Movement is all about. People of all races and religions coming together to save the world. I personally believe, as a young conservative in California, it doesn't matter what race or religion you are. We're all brothers and sisters. Love is the answer. Together, we can save the world. And that starts with California, because, as you know, wherever California goes, America follows. Wherever America goes, the rest of the world follows. So we have a lot of responsibilities. We have a lot of weight on our shoulders, and it's time to get to work. We are just getting started
Yes.
here on the West Coast, and we have many great things planned for you guys in the future. And I will be following Steve. I will be attending his events, and we are going to do everything in our power to make California golden again. And yeah, really grateful to be here on the show. Appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for all the love and support.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I feel like saying peace out.